Secrets of Your Soul. Last week we have talked about some feelings that parents can have when they are caring of a child with anxiety. We talked about exhaustion, fear, grief, and loneliness. Today we are going to talk about something that quite often parents feel but don't speak aloud about that. It is guiltiness. When we are caring a child who is suffering from anxiety, we can feel guilt. Somewhere, sometime, somewhere inside you, you can have asked, did I cause this? This is not something that happened for one only cause. And if you have asked yourself this question, you are not unusual. You are a human being. Several parents feel guilt in this situation. We are not here to blame parents or anyone else. We are here to understand what happened with us parents when you are caring our child with anxiety. We are biologically and emotionally wired to protect our children. And when something happens with them and we cannot immediately fix it, we start to search for reasons, for an explanation of why that is happening with my child. And why our mind think like this? Hello, Sam, hello, Daisy. Yes, thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Daisy Princess. Hello, Kira Cross. Hello. So, why our minds think like this? Because we seek for control. If something happens with our child, we want to take control over this. So unconsciously we think, if I did this, may I can undo this. Hello everybody. So good to have you here. Welcome here. It's very good to have you here. Hello, Ultra. Hello, Arya. Hello. And the uncertainty causes in us anxiety. So it's less bad to self-blame than to don't have an explanation, don't have a control over what is happening with your child. So that is why we self-blame, because guilt gives us an illusion of control. Maybe I can do if I did this. Maybe you have thought sometimes, I should have noticed this earlier, and so I could help better my child. Or you can think, I was too strict. That is why today my child suffers from anxiety. Or I was too soft. We find and we look for several explanations, and our mind, our brain prefer to self-blame than don't have any explanation for that. Maybe we think I could have passed the anxiety on genetically, or we question the other family seems well, seems fine. Why with us? Why ours family? Your mind is just trying to make sense of your painful situation. But the reality is that children's anxiety is not caused just for one factor, but there are several factors working together for the anxiety appear. Some children are born more sensitive to threats and uncertainty. That's a biological factor. The nervous system differs in reactivity. Maybe you have 2 or 3 children, and only one of your children suffer from anxiety. That is because they are different. They are not all the same. Their nervous systems are different, and the other factors and the other reactions are different. Another factor is the social factor, the social pressure, the school, social expectations, the friendship. Hello, Joanne. Hello. Those are also factors that work together to make the anxiety appears. Transitions in the life often activate anxiety as well. Summarizing, anxiety emerges from the interaction of several factors. Anxiety is not the result of one mistake or the consequence of one style of parenting. It's not that. Good parents not prevent all anxiety. Good parents are present and help their children to live with feelings by a safety way. Your responsibility as a parent is not a demand of control. You cannot control everything that happens with your child. You have influence over your children, but you are not the only author of their life, and you don't determine the emotional outcome of your children. You can prepare the soil, you can provide light and water to a plant, but you cannot control exactly how this plant will grow up. That's the same with our children. We cannot control everything. We can't provide what is in our hands to provide, but we cannot control everything. And you are not the only ones who influence the life and the emotional outcome of your children. As parents, we usually think that influence is the same, is equal of causation, but it's not like this. You matter a lot in your children's life, but you are not the only single author of their emotional world. There are more people and more situations that can and actually do influence your children's life and your children's emotions. Sometimes you may feel relieved when your child with anxiety has a good day away from home. And after that, you feel guilt for having been feeling relieved. Or you can feel frustrated when you have to give repeated assurance to them. And after that, you again feel guilt. Or you can want some time alone. And at the same time, you feel guilt because you are willing some time alone. May you compare your children, your child with the others. Having difficult feelings does not mean that you are a bad parent. That means that you are a human being who is tired and who is caring deeply of your child. Love and frustration can coexist, and they actually coexist in this situation when our children are suffering from anxiety. Our love for them and our frustration for the situation coexist. And that is okay, there is no problem in that. Allow yourself to experience those feelings. Don't question your feelings. Instead, question your thoughts. What am I blaming myself for? What are you blaming yourself for right now? Is that a fact? Is that a fact? Hello, Howgard. Welcome. Another question you can make about your thoughts. What other factors might exist? We talked today about several factors that influence and that work together to produce a situation, an outcome of anxiety. So think in your place, in your house, in your situation, what factors can be mixed, might exist in this situation. And above all, think if another parent would tell to you the same history you are living, would you blame them? How would you talk to them? Would you talk to them by the same way your inner voice is talking to you? Be kind with yourself. Be kind with the parent that you are, the parent that suffer what's happening with your child. Be kind with yourself. Allow yourself experience different and maybe ambiguous feelings or feelings that look like opposite. Allow yourself to feel. Don't question your feelings. Question your thoughts. Why are you wondering if you are who caused this? If you are guilt for your child's situation? Why are you asking this? Is there any other factor? Is it a factor that you caused this? What would you say to another parent in this situation? Question your thoughts. I would like to invite you to put your hand on your chest and breathe. Talk to yourself internally. You don't need to speak aloud. Say silent. I did the best I could with what I knew that time. And today I am still learning. That is you as a parent. You did the best you could do with your abilities, your capabilities, your knowledge in all these years. And today you are still learning. You deserve compassion. You deserve to be cared as much as your child. Children do not need really perfect parents. They need parents who stay present, compassionate with them and with themselves, and willing to grow. That kind of parent can help more than a perfect parent. Perfect parent doesn't exist. Anxiety is treatable. Keep that in mind. Relationships repair continually. Change happens gradually. Be patient. Changes happen gradually. Your willingness to understand already helps your child more than a perfect parent could do, because they don't exist. You think sometimes that other parents are good and you are not. There are not this kind of perfect parents, and each parent is good with they knew and with they were able to do at each time. We have spoken today about guiltness. If you feel comfortable, let one word about what you are taking home from today's talking and share this video with someone else. If this helped you, I invite you to subscribe. And I will see you next Wednesday at midday London time. I will keep talking about our experience as parents caring a child with anxiety. See you next week. Thank you for being here.